Welcome to the Matt Wilkie podcast.
Welcome to the Philippines Part 14, Surviving the Long Distance Relationship. It's something many people haven't considered before getting into a relationship with the lady from the Philippines. But the reality is, you may be apart for long periods of time. The relationships that fail before they even start are normally related around the inability for people to be distant from each other. People being needy, jealous, and sometimes argumentative, or playing on the fact that there's a distance and knowing their partner suffers with them not being within view. Those relationships will always fail because there's a fly in the ointment before you've even started. The fact that there is no trust, and because you've got the distance and because you're not spending enough time together, you can't build the trust that makes a stronger relationship. But also, it's to do with personal traits. For me, long-distance relationships survive on the ability to be understanding for the other person. When my wife was invited to some of her local events, friends' birthday parties, etc., people would often ask her, "Well, why does your husband let you go out when he's not here?" Well, the fact is we have trust. And the other fact being that my wife is not that kind of person that would do anything. So the reality is it's all based on the people we are. The same as myself. I work all over the place, and the only interest I have in the evening from when I finish work is messaging my wife. May sound a little bit boring to most people, but if you're in this sort of relationships where the distance is an issue, you fully understand. Even for OFWs and Filipinos working in the sea industry, etc., where they may not have a phone reception or internet for some periods of time, they will, as soon as they get to a port, etc., make sure that they're in touch with their loved ones back home. That's the other thing about Filipinos. It's the same in the Outer Hebrides. I used to live out in Outer Hebrides a long time ago. But the women there are used to having husbands that are overseas or away for long periods of time because of the environment. You know, in Outer Hebrides, they're normally all fishermen, so they're out in the fishing vessels all the time. As such, their wives accept that. That's part of life. OFWs, the families accept the family's going to be away. So it's built in to the person because it's been so long ongoing that they can adapt to it. Where you normally find people are needy and clingy, etc., is with the younger women because they're still teenage age, literally, because you find Filipino women don't seem to develop till their mid-20s. So as such, a 22-year-old has often got the mindset of a 16-year-old. So they're assuming the boyfriend's having an affair, etc., etc. It is that simple. This is why maturity is an important part. Older women are normally a better deal because they've already lived through most things in life, and they're not running around looking for the next guy. They're content. They're looking for that guy that can provide, be a good husband, be loyal, etc., etc. So as long as you can manage your part of the deal, the relationship will not only survive, but thrive. There's a lot of stuff on my YouTube channel that most people can't see. There's a lot of messages in there because one of the things I do is I leave individual messages. There'll be a message from my wife, my daughter in the UK, my daughter in Spain, my son in Spain. They get individual messages as well as group messages. For example, when my son's being naughty, I'll actually tell him, to behave, and how he's got to look after his mother while I'm away, etc. The main thing here is using what you have available to work to your advantage. When I first started calling the Philippines, I didn't have access to the internet. I was in a work environment where basically I work 16 hours a day, and the only access I have to internet is my telephone. So using my phone, I would text, and it cost me about £200 a month. I was also finding my wife is running up a bill of about £80 in the Philippines as well. This is one of the parts of the relationship that people may find strange. My wife paid her own bill. She never asked for any money. It was just several months in, she told me how much she was actually spending, that we started looking for another way to keep in touch. And this is when my wife used to go into work early, and I used to get up at 2 a.m. just so we could talk. This is the thing, you adapt to the relationship. The main thing is getting that life balance, though, that you're not just chatting when you've got your downtime, because you still need to eat, go to the gym, or do something that's a bit of me time as well. You can't become too obsessed with just being together. Also, you run out of things to talk about. I've got to admit, for a long time we talked night and day for I don't know how many months before I went out to the Philippines. It must have been 8 to 9 months we were talking every day. This is the thing. You have a constant contact, but you don't need to be there 24/7. Things like WhatsApp and things like that allow you to send messages to each other throughout the day anyway, a bit like Twitter. So they know where you are. You can send a picture from, I'm here today, which is where a lot of my images come from. It's like, I'll send the picture of me at the London Eye, the Baker Street, Sherlock Holmes Memorial, etc., etc. Because, well, it couldn't be a memorial. It's more of because it wasn't a real character. We used a character, not a real person. Monument. But the point is, you try and keep things interesting by saying what you're doing and what you're up to that may be interesting. Little snippets throughout the day. So I would say it's possible to survive a long-term, long-distance relationship, because I've done it. I've spent a minimum of 3 months away at a time, and my wife just gets on with it on the Philippines, and we just keep in touch. And here in Spain, we do the same. We work with what we have, and this is the thing, is once you understand that this is just the way things are for now, you work through it. And my wife's getting a bit tired of me doing it, I have to admit that, but nearly a decade of me coming and going, I can understand that. It's not as if it was just year one. But at the same time, as a contractor, I can earn the equivalent of up to about $15,000 a month. All expenses paid. Also, I'm the biggest expense wherever I am. When I'm in the Philippines, our cost of living goes up by at least 50% when I'm home, because I leave the AC on. Because I eat Western diet. Lots of stuff like that. In Spain, it's similar, because I like good food. We have a lot more food in our diet, because I'll try a new restaurant, that sort of stuff. So when I'm away, the cost of living goes down, but also our income goes up, which is why long-term relationships with long distance can work quite well financially, because it can help you jump forward in life. I mean, I used to estimate that 3 months in the UK would be at least 1 year in the Philippines. Um, it's probably still about that now. But the reality is, when I'm in the UK, we start constructing. Here we are in Spain. We've still got construction projects going on in the Philippines. Every month, there's a new development. That's the advantage of having that distance, earning your money in the West and spending it in the East. Thanks for listening.